Look at you. What a handsome young man you are.
Uh, you said that right as after I hit the audio to be listenable. So they just heard you say that, you chinky
I'm,
person.
I'm
Uh,
glad they did.
hello and welcome to Out of State DMing's broadcast. I'm your host, lluksblackheart, and your co-hosts are Bacon and LadyCelt, and we actually have both of them today. So this is going to be fun. Today we are going to be moving over and talking about ranger spells. And rangers have the same spellcasting problems that paladins have, which is they're half casters, so they don't get their full levels when it comes to casting their spells. They have to wait till they're level 4 to cast those spells, but they are considered divine casters, so they use their wisdom to as their casting stat. So the higher it is, the more bonus spells, and the higher the DCs. They also have the paladin problem of they get levels 1 through 4. No 0 level spells, nothing above that. Uh, but they still get some pretty decent spells. Some people may say no, they don't, but well, they just don't know better. And starting us off with the first ranger spell is Alarm, which for those playing at home that still don't know what that spell does, is it wards an area for 2 hours per caster level, which you can set it to be either a auditory alarm, so when something triggers it, everyone in the affected area of the spell hears it, or a silent alarm that just wakes you up. So there is no like, my alarm went off and everyone knows it. You can go, alarm went off and I'm up. The one of the restrictions of it, and this ends up triggering it in my personal experience more times than not, is when you cast a spell, any and all valid creatures within it, within affected area, when you cast it, if they leave the radius of the spell, it goes off. Which means if any party member decides to take a jolly, joyful walk or a very enthusiastic walk through the forest, we'll trigger it.
Listen. So my question to this would be: is can you determine the sound of the alarm?
It's like bells or a something similar to like a horn. So it can't be like
So
child
so it,
giggling. It has to be something that will actually wake people up without a listen check being made, and b can't be any sort of quiet thing. So it has to be loud. When we get to the spell itself, it should have it right there so we can go in more detail about it. But the type of bell you and the frequency of the sound, you can technically decide that. So you can have it be like someone ringing a gong repetitively for the short time it goes off. A bunch of cowbells going off.
so my question here would be: is with a little bit of homebrew on this? Can I could I technically set this to sound? And I know you're very big on your urban legends, so I know you're gonna know this. Can I combine this with a glyph with an illusion spell to make Siren Head pop out when you trigger the alarm?
Um, as much as I want to go, just to heck with it. Uh, yes, and you don't even need to have like a programmed image or anything. You just need that siren sound. Um, as much as I want to say yes, that type of siren sound is only feasible if that particular world setting has alarms like that. So if
So
it was
that's what I'm saying. With a little bit of brewing, can't we just say it was the Rangers' imagination that made this?
uh Technically, yes. Because again, DM's prerogative is the main kicker for a lot of the random shenanigans that does or does not happen on and off the table. So if a DM looks at you and goes, yes, you can. My stipulation is if I permit you to have Siren Head go off, one, you can't tell the party that you set the alarm because I want them to be fully surprised. And two, you cannot let them know that the alarm that went off was simply just an alarm spell. It's one of those, I want them to be freaked out that one of the most dangerous shenanigal creatures out there shows up to boom. I want them to think that. And if you don't know what Siren Head is, because I'm not 100% sure LadyCelt knows who Siren Head is.
Oh, I do.
Yeah. Siren Head is like I think like a 40 to 50 foot tall pole with arms and legs. And depending on your source, he has like 2 to 3 not microphones. Are they microphones? No.
It's like a megaphone. It's a siren
megaphone.
alarm.
Yeah, it's siren alarms. Yeah, 2 to 3 siren alarms that are his mouth, and commonly he makes this loud siren sound. And he can also talk with them and makes it sound like that someone's coming over the microphones. So if you want to learn more about him, you can easily Google Siren Head or YouTube Siren Head, and if you're easily scared or don't like things that can be considered creepy, don't do it. But if you want some shenanigans in your life, do it, because there's a lot of random stuff about Siren Head.
Ian sent me a lot of Siren
I
Head
can't hear Lady Celt
last
at
few
all.
years.
Like I can see her talking, but I can't hear her.
Hold on.
Yeah, check your input volume, because I might not
Is
be
that
the.
better?
Yes.
Okay, hold on.
That's better. It's just not. It's still not great.
Is that?
Let me get my.
I'm not.
I heard you say something.
I'm not the
I can't
only
say what
one
it was.
having problems. Little bit of.
But no, I want to combine that with a glyph with illusionary magic to actually make it look like he's walking through the woods.
When we get to the alarm spells that grant, I mean, that have like specific things to triggered when they go off, to see if you can have it go off with the alarm.
Right.
But we would have to get to the those there.
I mean,
So
I kind of don't see why it wouldn't work. Because I mean, technically, you could set up a glyph with basically any kind of magic, depending on the glyph. Correct?
Glyphs are funny, as in they either A, require specific triggers to actually trigger, or, excuse me, they actually tell, oh, you can trigger it, take one of these things here. Like one of the most commonly used glyphs is like the glyph of warding, and what it does is any entity that goes into the affected area of the spell triggers the spell to detonate, which does a couple die 6 damage to them. So it depends on what glyph or illusion you're using will determine the actual prerequisites to what can and cannot set it off. So it's less on the imagination of the person and more the limitations of the spell. But
Man, that's some bullshit. I want to make Siren pop out of nowhere, scare the fuck out of everybody.
well, yeah, but when we actually get into those particular ones, uh, we can have fun with it. But a big part of it applies to getting to those spells and then verifying if those spells will actually do what we want them to do. Uh, and that is a big thing that a lot of people don't get about D&D. They fixate on one or two spells, thinking those one or two spells does what they want or need, and then completely give up because those spells don't do that, when all you have to do is verify what other spells do it. So if you're looking for the illusion spells to have to do something, look at all of them, not just the ones you can cast, because sometimes you have to have forethought for the future, or that. So you look at what spells can do it, and that tells you how long you have to wait before you can pull off what you want. Now I can tell you that technically there is if you're a cleric or a sorcerer or a wizard, there is two spells that can do what you want: Miracle and Wish. So if you're...
I don't want to actually summon that. I just want to make an illusion of it.
Well, I'm not talking about
I
summon.
don't want
Uh, those two spells are the workaround loopholes to having magic technically work the way you want. Because if you... I wish for when this alarm spell goes off, an illusion of Siren Head appears. Wish will go, okay, yeah. It's the DM that would have to say no to that, not actual spell itself. Therefore, when it goes off, an extremely realistic image of Siren Head pops up, and the DM may even twist it a little bit so that way the sound is actually coming from that image instead of just in the area. So you get pretty much a programmed image that's preset to go off at a certain time because you used Wish. And the same thing for Miracle. Miracle, because Miracle is just a divine version of Wish. So there is, like I said, there is loopholes to getting what you want and desire.
you know I'm going to a lot of people say if I get hold of a witch thing, right?
You're gonna do something stupid. I know.
So it's kind of like a multi-sensory illusion.
Yeah, when we start diving into illusions themselves, which they are on the sorcerer's wizard sorcerer spell list, there is a bundle of different illusion spells, and some of them do exactly what he wants, but it's double. We would have to go forth and double check the actual triggers to see if it's something that, oh, it only triggers when you cast the spell, or is it something that we can have go off at a certain time. And a lot of those particular ones, some of the higher level ones do moving images that seem really real that can eventually get to the point where you get the ones that actually produce sound and stuff themselves. And the easiest way, I forgot what spell it is, but there's another spell that when you cast it, and I believe it's a ward spell, that when it's triggered, it triggers another spell. So technically, instead of just a alarm spell, you can cast that, and when something comes in the area, it's a pretty much just programmed image that makes sound. Siren Head appears making noise, which will wake everyone up, while at the same time potentially scaring away whatever just tried to enter camp.
Or if you didn't tell your party members, give them heart attacks.
Exactly. You wouldn't believe how many times in games, as both a player and a DM, I've had to look at other players and go, why'd you wake me up? I didn't wake you up. You're on watch, I am up. Guess why I'm up? Because you never went to sleep. No, I cast alarm. Well, I didn't know. Yeah, you did. You agreed that it was a good idea, and your character was present when I cast it because I didn't secretly cast it.
So they're stupid. Got it.
Exactly, and that's happened more than once. And even as a DM, I've seen many players fall victim to trigger-based spells that other party members have cast simply because they weren't paying attention and or didn't care that party member over here had this spell set up. Uh, like the amount of times power word kill has killed friendly players is hilarious. Um, if you're not familiar with the spell, in later episodes we'll be doing a recap when we actually cover the spell itself. But it's pretty much if you see the symbol, like you walk the area, you see the symbol to trigger it. Uh, Anything that views the symbol has to make a saving throw or instantly die. So when I say there were certain times where that spell was not permitted to be used because I got tired of in-house fighting, was because, like, well, this is your third time you're making a character in this campaign because you're stupid. I'm not stupid. Then why do you keep triggering this person's power word kill? Or these other ward spells that aren't direct instant kill effects but can still have a chance of killing you? Well, because they want to kill me. It's like, can you think before acting? It's kind of like in there's certain people that even though they're not in my games, that for a long while they weren't allowed to cast certain spells. Like one individual whose name shall not be mentioned was straight up denied by the entire party to casting anything that revolved around fire because he kept burning things down with loot in it.
I remember that discussion.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it's not a big deal. Well, this big multi-story ranch house is now on fire because of you, and there's loot in it that the party's no longer gonna get. Why? Because you're burning down the house. Like, if you're gonna not be intelligent, not gonna be intelligent. What do you mean our flying ship needs to now be repaired and we need a new Jacob's ladder on the starboard side? You pointed your hand straight down to be flush with the hole and cast burning hands. And you lit the Jacob's ladder on fire and burnt a big chunk of the ship. Well, something shouldn't have been climbing up the Jacob's ladder. You shouldn't have caught it on fire. So when it comes to a bundle of different spells, I'll full-heartedly admit, if you cast them and they have any sort of trigger that a party member could possibly trigger, I respectfully request that you either A, make sure that they definitely know that they're gonna trigger that effect, and you're not going to sit there and just take it lying down, or just don't cast it. Because when I say people can be unintelligent, that is not me lying or even trying to fib. So just
I worked in retail off and on for 30 years. Believe me, stupidity has no limits.
no, it
There is such
doesn't.
a thing as a stupid question.
Yeah. Yeah. The well, I mean, to a higher
Like
degree,
detonating an entire tower.
uh, it's like, is there stupid questions? Yes, but you're more inclined to run across a scenario where it's not a stupid question, but there's a stupid place, stupid time, and a stupid person to ask it. So it's like,
Like I'm going, hey, is it a good idea to light marble and then rapidly cool it? What's um,
that
what
that's
happens
not a
when you
dumb
rapidly
question.
cool?
That's a valid
It
question.
was just bad.
What you really
It
want
was
to do
just dumb.
is throw some oily vinegar on it.
Oh, sorry.
Oily vinegar.
Yeah, any type of like limestone, anything like that, it can cause it to explode.
Well,
Yeah, we found out.
what recap wise, he and the party found out real quick that when the DM says, "Yes, you're in a marble tower," that listening and remembering things is kind of important, especially when you look at the DM and go, "Okay, we're gonna superheat the stone, take at minimum crack and flake it, so it's easier for us to get down." Me going, "What?" Yeah, I'll burning hands a section of the floor a few times, and then a decent level shaman, will cast create water, and that's going to create gallons upon gallons of water, so it's going to get super cooled. Okay, are you sure? Yes. Completely forgetting that the tower already has some cracks in it because of not thinking. So the heat got pretty
Tower
deep
fall
in.
down on the floor.
Yeah. So
I thought about it the entire time. I just didn't say I was thinking through the entire scenario.
yeah. So the marble did get heated because like burning hands is an AoE effect, so it was able to get in a bunch of the cracks. And then when suddenly well over 20 gallons of water was just dumped on it, and it's like, okay, it's sitting in cracks, so it's as a cracky. I then asked, so what happens when you superheat and then super cool marble?
And then my response was, "Oh shit, it's explosive, isn't it?"
Boom. Big
So
boom.
they were about 60 feet from the top of the mile high marble tower they were in.
We were 60 feet at the top. We were 60 feet from the bottom at the end of it.
No, you weren't 60 feet from the bottom. You were at the bottom. Because
Oh,
they rolled and they took a third of the tower off the top, which plummeted the party to the bottom, nearly killing the party. Technically, it did kill several party members, but they had a want to they had regeneration effects that had a month down cooldown, so those party members were fine. Uh, there was a possibly going to be party on party member death because one party member was a vampire and he didn't like taking all that damage. So it
I was not inclined to damage at that point in time. Thank you.
yeah. So like multiple things just weren't going the party's way, and it didn't help the fact that that was just uh blow up the stone one attempt, because after they actually got to go in and instead of actually properly fighting the boss, they did something slightly worse than just burning hands and create water. They used Wall of Force
Got a
to
second.
make.
Hang on a second here. There was no burning hands on the second
I
attempt.
said, yeah,
It was all wall of flame.
yeah, wall of fire. It was a here's a wall of force to make sure everything's contained and gets nice and hot. Because let's do the easy bake oven again. Wall of fire, which definitely heated stuff up, and because they didn't completely seal the wall of force, dropped in the water. Completely forgetting that, wait, we're practically at the center of the tower. It's still made of marble.
We didn't forget anything. We knew what we were doing. We just misjudged the amount of stone that was above us.
2/3 of a mile worth of stone. So that was
Yeah,
a
we misinterpreted that. We thought 2/3 of the tower blew up. To be fair, we discussed this afterwards. We thought we only had to uncover a third of the tower from us, not 2/3.
yeah. Um,
There was some misinformation, miscommunication, mishearing that went on there. That was our bad. We knew what we were doing. We were just dumb.
yeah. So
We
thanks to a
really wanted to
second
keep the
wall of
ball.
force, no one died at that moment. But they were trapped under hundreds of feet of hundreds of tons of marble. Because
And then somebody fucking sun on us.
Oh
no, what
wow! I
happened is
mean,
they did a god check for their god to come help them, and their god isn't technically a good person, and loves being inconveniently helpful. And because they botched the roll, the god answered by dropping a meteorite on their location.
The
so
god just
technically they
screamed
weren't under the marble
and just,
anymore.
The
what
heat
was
of
that? Like,
they weren't. You guys weren't under the marble. So
yeah, no, we weren't under the marble, but we were part of people who had their eyes burned out because they failed the save for the blinding meteor crash.
Oh
yeah, because
god!
they did a big explosion and stuff. So like several people had scene problems, and then the party felt very inconvenienced because the extreme heat on marble does what to marble?
Well,
Liquefies it.
it heats it
Yeah.
and makes it very brittle and unstable.
Well, after a certain point, it liquefies it. So they were practically
We
in the middle of molten marble.
Ooh,
Luckily, the party was able to get away before the platform they were on sank into molten marble, because the raw force did to a certain degree of protecting them, but not necessarily permanently, because it doesn't stop stuff from coming up from the ground.
Well, to be fair, that this is when Jacob realized that having the party sorcerer as both a vampire and a sorcerer was a bad idea.
No, it was a good idea. The bad idea was the fact that when you came up with a good idea that also was a bad idea, you ran with it, and
Well,
everyone
nobody
else
argued.
wouldn't come up with actual good ideas. They come up with ideas that most of the time did not pan out the way they wanted to.
Because
just
they don't realize it's about the details, and they're stupid because they don't give full fucking details. I can't help it that I had a good idea that just might have been minorly suicidal. I was immortal. What did I care?
Yeah, exactly. You had a level of not caring. Like other party members, and I know we're going off tangent, but that's part of what we do here. Hi, welcome to the off tangent section. So that way, you LadyCelt have an idea of a side thing of this sounds like a good idea, but just isn't. Because they didn't think it through. Accidentally killing an ex-party member because you want to use him as a punching bag because he deserved it. Because he did. He was just ruining things for everyone. But you accidentally killed him with it. And since the party didn't have access to anything to resurrect him, we're going to take him to this city here and get him resurrected. Because they can buy things to get him resurrected. So took the body there, had him resurrected, not thinking that the individual they're resurrecting was kept for several months as a prisoner in a dungeon before he was killed. Which, if you would have thought, when he came to, with someone that's not part of the party, what do you think would be the appropriate action that individual takes? If you picked scream for help, panic, and try to get away from the person who killed you, you would be correct. Because it was out of character for him to ask for help or even be appreciative of it. So when he decided to start running out to get away from the party member so he can get actual help, which alerted the actual bad guys because they captured him in a city because that was their Rand city, and they got the information from him that they needed to discover that, hey, these people aren't underneath this illusion, and they are currently planning to stop us. Yeah, expedite our plan. So now the party has to rush to complete things because that simple tomfoolery mistake.
I would like to add into this, LadyCelt. To add into this, there was 2 sessions I was not present for, and it was those 2 sessions where everything went to shit.
It kind of did, because that's where some of the party strife actually started, because multiple people were upset that they were denied the ability to beat the crap out of, or at least have their own. If you get to kill him, we're going to resurrect him so we can kill him again, which would have definitely started diving people into being evil, because that's torture. Got upset solely because the person who killed him wasn't supposed to kill him, and he beat him up without the party present, which again pissed off pretty much everyone. And then screwed up, and he got away because that party member wasn't thinking. So it just started.
And the best part is that started the party strife. The very next session, when present, said bad guy came back with help, and then I proceeded to one-shot him, and then I was the bad guy.
That exact next game session.
No,
because I said
it was a session after.
The game session that led to that was also the same game session where one of the party members, because he burnt a lot of wishes, which also pissed off the party, because he went and bought the last remaining 3 rings of 3 wishes and then burnt them all, even though the party talked about sharing the wishes, or at least 3 separate people getting their own ring. He went and just did it without the party actually knowing he did it, until the party went, okay, let's go buy those rings. Oh, we can't even go back to that city. And then it was mentioned that even if they could, those rings aren't there anymore because someone in the party bought them. And it wasn't even me who brought that up. The person who brought them went, yeah, those rings are gone. And then tried to just gallivant over it, and several of the party members got super pissed, and it didn't help. And but the reason it's important is because several of the wishes he used to turn a magical item that only works on animals to work on magical beasts. Uh, then wished that the aquatic Tarask that the party unleashed in the area, because they kind of put it in position where it could regenerate itself, to be so it pretty much come to him so he can use a stone on it. Does he also burnt a wish to make it his familiar, while also wishing to actually have magical beasts.
He had a Pikachu he had a Pikachu in a Pokeball.
Pretty much.
That's one way of putting it.
That is one way of putting it. But the party's plan to remove the troublesome character from the bad guy's custody was to unleash the aquatic Tarask on the city, while at the same time having a person who said, okay, you guys can go ahead and just even though I'm not there, you can go ahead and use my magical staff.
My one particular one.
With the staff that can turn into a very powerful Hydra, 5-headed Hydra. So it's pretty much a massive, powerful Hydra and aquatic Tarask attacking the city that was ruled by dragons. So those dragons fighting them. The party decided to pull everything out because they got the person they needed. They also didn't want to see the kaiju fight because the Hydra was like, I'm going to go beat the crap out of that Tarask. And the Tarask was like, I'm going to beat the crap out of that Hydra. So before the kaiju fight of the century happens, they buggered off. Now, the next game session, he missed, things got worse. Why? The party was trying to get information. They wanted a few things, so they decided to not fully think again, and they did a god roll to get to the moon. Why? One of the party members, God, is on the moon and rules over the moon, and the moon actually does have a breathable atmosphere. So they wish to be on the moon, so that way they can get information from in person from their god, and then possibly go do other things to get the party more things what they need. So they did it. Forgetting to take their magical airship with them that would have made travel so much easier on the moon, while also forgetting about time moves slower on the moon than it does on Earth. Do you remember the time difference, Bacon?
I believe it was a 1 to 10 or a 1 to 20 day. I believe it was, or no, it was. It was a very substantial amount of time, and that's why they were mad, because they were aging rapidly, and
it's not that they were aging rapidly, because again, they were on the moon. Time travels slower on the moon. A minute on the moon was an hour on Earth.
Oh, okay, yeah, there you go.
They spent over 20 days just traveling on the moon to get to where they needed to go and do what they did, do everything they needed to do, because they forgot the thing that expedited a lot of their movement and relied on a still fast but not as fast as that mode of transport, which is the shaman turning into a chimera and everyone pretty much using that to coast. So when they get back to Earth, over 3 years have passed. because when a minute for you is an hour for someone else, that may not necessarily seem like a huge time, but it's a 1 to 60 ratio. 1 day here, 60 days here type of deal, because they 1 minute, 1 hour. So they every 24 minutes was a day, that day on Earth. And a lot of bad things did happen in absence. The person they spent so much time to get back uh, got freed, mainly because one of our party members before leaving had their Djinn torture and kill him, which did upset the several party members, but they were more okay with that than the other person doing it. But that person did come back because he got resurrected by a bad guy, turned into a Death Knight, and then set upon the keep. So he messed up the keep, killed a bunch of important NPCs for that the party had, and just ruined things for the party. And then had a base set up somewhere waiting for the party to remake their appearance. So the party got super upset. On this particular time, because he didn't go with them, the almighty Bacon went and finished the party's main goal while saving the party by teleporting them out of where they were originally at. Because technically speaking, it was multiple things that multiple game sessions this actually took place on. Because you were there for one, but your character died because he blew up several very powerful orbs that, if you break them, they detonate like tactical nukes, because the Retribution strike they have is extreme power, so very big. So he sacrificed himself to save the party and save the realm by creating a new lake, pretty much. So while he was dead, his character knew what was happening, because his soul was tied to a, you can call it a god in its realm. And when the party got back, trying to fix everything, he was setting up, making deals to come back temporarily to help aid the party. 2 party members, which, hi Saint, thank you for watching. We're talking about you right now. So, yes, Saint and another party member decided to go looking for the secret base. They did find the secret base because they got really lucky, and they used the airship to pretty much get there, boom. They found it by being shot down by fireballs, lost the airship, did technically survive the entire ordeal, and get back home, but they lost the airship while simultaneously alerting the person that, hey, they're back and they know where I'm at. And because they had to swim to get for some of it, they didn't have enough time to properly set up defenses. Not like some of the other party members were actually listening anyways, or paying attention. So the place started to be attacked by the main bad guy and, well, the new main bad guy, his forces, and a makeshift army that Bacon had, and what defenses they have there. And the new bad guy, because of some of the stuff, was like, okay, he can be beat, but it's going to be a group effort. This is going to be the toughest fight. If he gets any members solo, what would happen to them, Bacon?
They died, and
What happened?
he was very good at that.
What happened when the party shaman decided to segregate himself from the actual rest of the party because he wanted to get in on some of the action of killing some of the undead army that was attacking?
Okay, to be fair, he should have never left my side, but he went ahead and fought the shaman, or fought the new the new bad guy, and got his cheeks clapped in one round.
Yes, because the party wanted to have measuring contest of sorts. And when I went, all of you need to fight him, not one. Why? Because there's only, out of the living party members, so Bacon's technically not included in this. Out of the living party members, only one party member actually had a chance of soloing him, and that's just because he has a lot of hit points.
That's just insane. It's like,
And
have you guys not
newest party member
seen
from Barbarian.
Deer?
Yeah. Because that particular individual had several things helping him. One, he's a barbarian, so when he raged, he got bonus hit points, so that was going to help him. Two, he was a were-dunklosaurus, meaning he turned into a large fish person in his hybrid form. So it's like, he's not a pushover. The last thing that helps him is the fact that one of the magical abilities he earned increased just how much hit points he has. So when he would have raged or entered his hybrid form, the bonus hit points because of con he would have got from that would have even been greater. So even taking that into account, the bad guy was not a pushover. He was designed for the entire party to have a tough time beating.
Now. It wasn't designed for the party. It was designed for everyone but me.
Yeah, because one person's already dead, so then he's not going to be geared to actually properly fight someone who's already dead, because that doesn't make logical sense. It's just everyone that was alive.
my whole thing. So the whole shtick for my character is that I had the ability at any point in time to one shot him, and I chose to take it.
Yeah. Which that was the last game session for the campaign, and that's what killed it for a lot of party members, because they won despite the fact they saw one of the toughest party members, the shaman, get soloed by the big bad guy. They still wanted to solo him, not group fight, solo, and they got upset that he used his trump card and got a death involved.
Yeah, he's the big bad evil guy for a reason. He's not going to play nice.
Yeah, so when
Well, no, so
Bacon got a death involved.
I was a summoner sorcerer, and I had a pact with a death god, and just said, okay, I'm done with this fight. I already watched the shaman get killed. I already knew the future because I had met the god of fate, and she showed me what was going to happen to each of the party members if they had tried to solo him, and I just said, okay, I'm done with this. He's going to die. And I one-shot him and his entire army, and then they got upset because they wanted to fight him, and I was bad because I one-shot him and took away their fun, even though I told them, hey, you're all going to die if you fought him.
Yeah, it was a total lapse of judgment on, yeah, we know you want to do this, but if you do it the way you want, you're not going to win, because, again, they wanted solo.
I would be doing the most insufferable I told you so's ever.
Oh, we couldn't really get to that point because the main person that was pretty much fully against what he did quit the server. Well, at least I'm pretty sure she.
Yeah, they were very upset about what happened. I was a bad person because I did that and I took away their chance. Is no longer friends with me, not because of that, but because of something else, but has also left the server. So there was no real rectification there for what had happened. But again, there really shouldn't have been any rectification in the first place when they were forewarned that they were all going to die in this battle if they kept playing the way they wanted to. But they were still very certain that they could have won that. Even though I was secretly gearing them to be able to kill me if they needed to. And that one particular party member in particular was the one that was one of them that had the best chance at actually killing my character. But we never progressed far enough to have anything actually come of me turning into the BBEG because, temper tantrum because children.
Yeah. Yeah, so that campaign, which lasted a very long time, ended on a not so good note.
There was a lot of shit that went bad in that campaign. We had 2 party members removed for various reasons. We had 2 party members quit. Well, we actually had 3 quit, but
We split from another group, my husband and I did, because there was one guy who was just insufferable, and there was a debate on how to do something, and it was something I completely don't understand. One of those, oh my God, I've gone cross-eyed moments. But the guy flippantly says, oh yeah, don't listen to the engineer. And then Tony pops off with, I am an engineer. What are you talking about? And I didn't like the guy's attitude towards Tony. And I could be really, really bitchy. I mean, you can ask Lux's mom.
I don't need to ask her.
Oh yeah, you've been present for several.
How many decades have I known you now?
We are going into the third.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like I don't need a third party inquiry on the fact that you are a human being and you are entitled to losing your shit because, well, everyone does. But what
I don't know what you're talking about. I've never done my shit before.
I always have this last ditch thing, when I'm painfully close to the edge, I just say, please don't start this, because if you start this, then I have to start. I promise I'm better at it, and everyone's going to end up crying. So please just stop.
Yeah. Oh, give me one moment. Apparently, there's someone at the. Okay.
Oh, Nami.
Sorry about that. That and I just got reminded by one of my co-hosts that we started by talking about the alarm spell for the Rangers, and then just went in this huge, like almost 50-minute
Story
long
time.
side tangent story time. Which was the biggest side tangent we've ever had, because it's pretty much consumed the entire episode. So what we thought was probably going to be a short episode because there's not that many spells turned into D&D story time. Brought to you by this moron. So let's try to cover some of these spells before we officially end today's episode.
We did. We covered one of them.
Yeah, well, you covered one. We need to cover.
Well, that
at
just
least...
means we have to cover more of them. We have to cover more of them next week when we start the sorcerer spells that I'm very eager for because, sorcerer.
Yeah, so let's try to cover a couple more first level spells before we end it. No more side tangents. The next spell is Animal Messenger, where you can send a tiny animal to a specific place to deliver a message to a person there. You have to remember the message gets there as fast as the animal can move. So if you choose the wrong animal, it could take forever, which means the person either gets to the location and then moves on before the animal gets there, or depending on who it's waiting for, the animal gets there, no one shows up, which means the spell technically still went off like it was supposed to. It's just the message was never delivered because of lack of the person being there.
So my question to this would be: does this animal just? I'm glad you're giving me that look because you know where this is going already. Does the animal just stop and deliver the message, or does it can you make it climb into a pocket or something?
No, it gets to the location where we're supposed to deliver the message. If the person that is supposed to deliver the message there's for, it hands them a note. Well, it's either a note or it just psychically gives the message and then it just disappears. Not physically.
Oh, so
it's invisible now. It doesn't stay with them. It goes to the location, goes, oh, this message is for you, and then it buggers off. It doesn't climb into a pocket. It doesn't jump for joy on their shoulder or anything. I mean, DMs could be funny and as you're going, a squirrel jumps on you. Jumps on your face and screams a message at you before jumping off and running away. So a DM can have fun with it. Or as you guys are passing along the beach, a seagull swoops in real close, poops on a couple party members, and then delivers you a message, and then just flies off. So there is certain caveats that DM can take to make things a little bit more interesting. Or at minimum just funner. But normally it just shows up, delivers a message, moves on. DM's prerogative can change that however they want because again, and I'll probably say this every single episode that involves needing to say this, DM prerogative. The next spell is Calm Animal, which works just like Calm Person, but it's on animals. Then we have Charm Animal, which it's just like Charm Person, but it works on animals. Delay Poison, which stops poison from harming the subject for 1 hour per level. Detect Animals or Plants, which isn't necessarily you cast detect plants and suddenly the grass, the trees start going. It's more like plant creatures. But it works just like any other detection, where a 60-foot cone, if it's a plant monster, it pops. If it's an animal, it pops. Which means if you see a creature and it's not glowing, it's not an animal. And we're going to have to stop there.
I
Okay.
just got a terrifying idea for delay poison. Thank you. I know what I'm gonna do for a ranger build.
You suck. I would let you.
I'm
Well,
All
going
right.
to.
yeah.
Have a good night, guys.
I make no promises, but you take care and enjoy the rest of your weekend.
You as well.
Uh, well, for you, the mighty audience, thank you for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, and join us next week as we attempt to finish Druid spells. Thank you
That's not
and
droid. It's
good
Reaper.
night. Well, not Druid spells, Ranger spells. I hate you.